What's going on, guys? Ali here today, and I'm bringing you guys a gameplay slash commentary. On the map, Octane, sorry, still there. But on the map Octane, and I'm using the Honey Badger, and I'm actually playing Ground War this time. So this is a Ground War KEM, and I start off really well, but I sort of go downhill and don't finish as well as I started. I start off and I get a few kills quite quickly, but I just don't in this game. Anyway. Shit. What my topic is for today is it's going to be esports, and whether or not it is a sport or not a sport. And this is like a controversial topic basically, because a lot of people think that esports is a sport, and I'm going to say, on my opinion, this is just my opinion, so it's not, well, okay, actually no, I won't go on my opinion, I'll go on whether or not legitimately it is a sport. So esports, sports, the term sports is an activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against another or others for entertainment. So if you take the first bit from that, an activity involving physical exertion, that is a sport like rugby, soccer, you know, so and so, team sports, tennis, golf, that sort of stuff, because it requires some form of either, you know, you just gotta keep going, you gotta, you know, it's involving some form of muscle movement, basically, when in fact gaming really doesn't. But you take the second part from that, and you say, in which an individual or team competes against another or others for entertainment. That part is a sport, so you can consider, if it was just a definition of that, then esports would be considered as a sport. But as you all know, if you are unaware, Call of Duty has been put into the X Games, and the X Games is extreme sports. Now, that they all involve physical movements, that sort of stuff, like motorbiking, freestyle motorbiking involves, you know, that sort of stuff, BMXing, pumping, that sort of stuff involves a lot of league work. And to classify esports as a sport doesn't really make it, you know, a sport. I don't think it's a proper sport, because it is just moving your thumbs. But I do understand why people call it a sport and how it's come to be known as a sport, because the modern day definition of a sport is, I think, a lot different compared to the older definition of a sport, because the older definition of sport would be more traditional sports like rugby, soccer, American football, golf, cricket, tennis, that sort of stuff. But these days you've got hunting, BMXing, skateboarding, snowboarding, all those sort of sports, and they're quite different compared to the traditional sports, but they are still in the definition, they fit into the definition of the sport. And to me, well, personally, I see that from this definition that Call of Duty esports is not a sport, but partially a sport. If half of it is a sport, the other half is not a sport. But for it to be a sport, the whole thing has to be summed up into the definition. And I'll use rugby for an example. Here we go. Look. An activity involving physical exertion. Rugby, yes, running. You just run everywhere. And a skill in which an individual or team competes against another team or others for entertainment. That is sort of varied actually, because these days a lot of people do it not for entertainment but for a job, so that's still obviously a sport because people do it for fun all the time. But that's basically my topic for today, so that sums it up. That was the last definition. If you guys enjoyed this topic, controversial topic, like and subscribe if you're new. And tell me in the comments, did you like this topic? Would you like to see it again? Would you like me to do it on something else controversial that I can find out? And yeah, and tell me whether or not you did like it or not. So yeah, bye. Subscribe.
Getting pissed off, let a riled up growl go. Now all I gotta do is howl at the moon. Up all night like I'm running on fumes. I'm putting my hand on her ass. She turned around, she like not so fast. This girl goes all day and night. Close my eyes, we're gonna be alright, yeah. They can't see the stars I see.